Student success and well-being requires collaborative, universal leadership that employs calculated risk-taking and a determination to consider and implement new and innovative ideas. As a learning organization, the division recognizes continued improvement through a commitment to leadership at all levels. Two words jump out at me in that definition: determination and innovative, of course. That describes our next two presenters to a T. I'm really looking forward to this. In fact, these are members of the grad 2015 class from right here at Memorial Composite High School. And they were so determined in promoting one of their startup businesses, their journey took them from here to, in Stony Plain, of course, all the way to CBC's Dragon's Den in Toronto, which is really a cool story. Without a word of a lie, this weekend I was observing some beer pong that was being taken place on the back of my son's pickup truck. And one of his friends was telling me, did you see on Dragon's Den recently, there's a guy that invented a red Solo cup. When you turn it over, it's got a shooter on the inside, so you can use it both ways. He said, it's brilliant. I don't think these two invented that, but we're going to find out. They're young boys, who knows? It's got something to do with fluid. Please welcome Brendan, Willey and Brayden Gerrard.
Good morning. So I'm Brendan Willey.
And I'm Brayden Gerrard.
So to start, Brayden and I are just going to share essentially how we got started and where our journey took us. So in grade 11, I was kind of the student who showed up, didn't do anything, just kind of sat there, stayed out of the teacher's hair, stayed out of everybody's hair. So it was then I had a first block spare, and my dad hated it. I was sleeping in every morning, which I loved. And so he told me I needed to go fill the block. So after the first couple of days, I went, all right, fine, I'll go fill it, make you happy. So I went to the council and I asked for the easiest class they had. Entrepreneurship class, right? You get to go, pretty much like sleeping, right? So, so I went to the class, and the teacher, I'd had him before, he liked me, so that's kind of where my journey began. For the first couple months, I just sat in class, listened, but didn't exceed. And what happened next is we actually got the opportunity to run a company. And the entrepreneurship teacher, Mr. Stuckey, kind of pushed me beyond my comfort zone. And I wouldn't say molded me into an entrepreneur at the start, but definitely molded me into what I am today. So what happened is we started a company. At this point, I was alone. And the company was the most successful company Mr. Stuckey had ever seen and the school had ever seen. So I took the opportunity extracurricularly, and that's when I met Brayden.
And so Brendan originally approached me and wanted to start a company. I had been experimenting a little bit with my own companies. I had unsuccessfully started a store that sold water filters, and after about 4 or 5 months and countless hours marketing, I had to shut it down with exactly $0 in revenue. So since I obviously had a lot of learning to do, I went and looked over the options, and I just kind of saw entrepreneurship class. Said, well, I'm interested in it. Mr. Stuckey's not the worst teacher I've ever been with. And so I decided to enroll in it. And I'd been in plenty of classes with Stuckey before, and he was always good, but I think things definitely changed once we were in entrepreneurship class. After I started going in entrepreneurship class, it wasn't like the other ones where you just showed up and you did the work and you handed in the assignment and then you rushed out and tried to get to McDonald's faster before everyone else. And no, this one, you go in, particularly since I was doing it outside of class too, there's a lot more there. Mr. Stuckey, particularly more than anyone else, really motivated to show me stuff. And he was so much more than a teacher. As we went through the classes, I started my own company. As I would come up and ask him questions about what should I do when this happens, or what should I do when this happens? I can't understand my supplier because they only speak Chinese. What do I do? But he spent so much time with me beyond just what a teacher would do. So much time after school, so much things. He's no longer just a student. He's much more of a mentor now. And I have to say that Mr. Stuckey really was vital, I think, to me and Brendan, in helping become the entrepreneurs that we are today.
So,
And he's probably out here somewhere listening right now, so thank you, Mr. Stuckey.
yes, thank you. So, essentially, we took the step from not only being students, we took the step and took our entrepreneurial ventures extracurricularly. I approached Brayden because I heard he was running his company with zero revenue. So I approached him and asked if he wanted to start up a business with me. So initially, for the first 6 months, we had zero revenue, just like he had. Not me. I mean, I was coming off this great success, and we get together, and for 6 months we had $0 in revenue. We tried every idea we could think of, and then we came up with this 9-to-5 water bottle, and that is what we took to Dragon's Den. So, in essence, the 9-to-5 water bottle, for those of you who don't know, is just a normal water bottle where we put times on the side. The times start at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12, down to 1 o'clock, and then you fill it back up. You go from 1 p.m. down to 5. So it just sits on your desk and acts as a reminder all day for you to stay hydrated. And we had made, kind of sales, and we were seeing where we could take it. And then we approached Parkland School Division. And Parkland was really the extra boost that we needed that took us to develop our company into what it is today. So when we approached, what happened is I got in trouble because the company that I was running before, we weren't allowed to do it because we were selling to the students in Parkland through the classrooms, so that was a no-no. And then they're like, okay, you can't do that anymore, but what you guys can do is we're going to buy 500 and we're going to send you guys down to Kananaskis where you guys can meet all of these like-minded teachers who believe in health, and you guys will be able to promote your product there. So we went, and it was an unbelievable experience. Parkland really stepped up and pushed us and molded us. And, as Mark Zuckerberg would say, start a company so fast that you make mistakes, but it doesn't matter because you're getting to where you want to go. So with Parkland helping us, that really acted like the leaders in our community, the mentors. We had no idea where to take it, no idea where to go. They stood up, took the idea from us, and not from us. They didn't steal the patent. No, they helped us with our idea, and then that is when me and our other partner, who isn't here today, had the opportunity to audition at Dragon's Den. So I was actually watching Dragon's Den on a Friday night because there was nothing else on TV, and I saw it said check online to see when auditions are in your area. So what we did is I checked, and it was a Friday night. It was the next Saturday morning. So I texted Brayden, and he's like, no, I can't do it. I'm out of town. I'm busy. And then I texted Garrett. He's like, let's do it. So that was kind of the moment that really propelled us into starting a real company, not just a water bottle that we sold just for fun. It kind of snowballed with the help of Parkland and with the help of Troy Stuckey and the other leaders in our community to actually strive to achieve something greater than we thought we'd ever be able to achieve. So once we went to Dragon's Den auditions, a month later, I was at a hockey tournament, and it was about 10 a.m. in the morning. I just got back to my hotel room, and I checked my phone, and it had about, I think, 25 missed calls or something like that, and maybe 100 text messages from Garrett. And he said that we had actually got accepted to go to Dragon's Den. And at that moment, I was kind of, maybe it's a fake email. And maybe it was just awe and shock. And that moment, me, Brayden, and Garrett got together, and we decided to mold this from a water bottle to something that will look, won't make us look silly on national television, essentially. So we started a corporate health consulting company, and what that does is we would go into the companies, we'd offer our water bottles to every single employee, and then we'd go in and corporate health consult on how to stay healthy, and we called it a triangle: the healthy, active, and hydrated. Hydration was our part, the key, and then we worked together to create a plan to keep the employees healthy, active, and hydrated, which when our episode airs, we explain a lot better, but in essence, the key to having employees, and in this case students, is keeping them healthy, active, hydrated, and engaged. And all three of those play towards the engagement.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we are today. I just wanted to say it is crazy how fast I went from sitting there at my kitchen table trying to sell a water bottle to my mom to standing in front of 5 dragons who just, you know, these are the guys that you sit and watch on TV and you just going, man, those guys are getting grilled. And so it was just, it came so fast for us, but I think that it was just, like you said, it was just what pushed you to go more, to just take it to the next step, to always trying to do something more. And even now we're doing that. We're still trying to, now that we're out of the school system, obviously, but we're still trying to take all the things that we started and that we learned while we were there, and we're still trying to grow them into new projects. We're trying to create new things that we can use. And we're still using the same, I'm still going to be sending emails to Mr. Stuckey asking him for help next time I hit something that I don't know what to do.
So the universal, when Jordy asked us to come up, or sorry, to initially at the beginning of the summer to do this speech, the topic was universal leadership for us. And what I really ask and question is, what makes a leader? Is it a teacher, a coach, a boss? I would say no to all three of those. I mean, a boss can essentially be really mean to you. A teacher can do the same, and a coach can do the same. But a leader is somebody who would pick you up and pull you up to their level, or maybe even past their level, who wants to see you succeed. I had a gym teacher who told me I was a leader, and I said, no, I'm not. And then she showed me. She didn't tell me, she showed me. And what that really did for me is I kind of lost my maturity, my high school maturity, and I rose up to somebody who I wouldn't say I look at myself as a leader, but definitely somebody who would offer assistance or help to kids in my position, you know. Somebody who isn't, I wouldn't say mean, but wouldn't step on somebody in the same position I was in, or something similar, right? So today, the kids that are in the entrepreneurship class, I would suggest every class should be treated like that. And entrepreneurship isn't about being self-employed. Self-employment is risk management and being able to work for yourself. Entrepreneurship is creating ideas that improve people's lives. It's about improving the lives of, for our example, corporate people who work in a desk job and don't get enough hydration. Minimal, but essential. So nourish the children and let their ideas grow. I mean, I wouldn't have saw potential in myself several months ago. But today, I know that if I want to do something, I have the support of the community and the Parkland and all of my teachers behind me, where I can ask for their assistance and I won't get denied. So being somebody who a student can open up to is really something that would have aided me when I started my journey, because, you know, me and Brayden were selling water bottles, and believe it or not, the kids in our school made fun of us. So we already had enough resistance from our peers, and imagine if it wasn't just our peers. Imagine if it was our teachers also telling us it's a terrible idea. Then maybe we wouldn't be here today. Maybe we wouldn't have went to Dragon's Den. Maybe we wouldn't have even went to Parkland School Division to ask how they can help us. And gratefully, we owe it to everybody at Parkland, all of our teachers, the principal especially for letting us borrow, Miss Shauna Boyce letting us borrow the conference room all the time so we could feel like businessmen. We raided the pop fridge in there quite a few times.
Well, selling water bottles.
Something that I always asked for in high school after I took the entrepreneurship class was a real estate class, but I never got it, even though I demanded it. Mr. Stuckey he's like, nobody's going to sign up for it. So just think about that. And I believe a lot in not only formal education is key, self-education will take you further. So encouraging your students on their extracurricular time to read a book about something they're passionate about. It's always easier, I know as a student, to read about something you love to do. In my case, the first book I ever read was American Sniper by Chris Kyle. And then that kind of propelled me to love reading and now I read about a business book as much as I can, usually one every week. And it's knowledge that's going to help me and Brayden in the future. So it's really key for, I know myself as a former student at this school, to have the support and be able to go to my teachers and I wouldn't say hear what I want to hear, but critical and constructive criticism is what really propels people as students to go forward. I know that's what helped me.
And lastly, I think I've already know that Mr. Stuckey talked to me before we left last year, and he already talked to both of us about the possibility of coming in back to the entrepreneurship class, but this time to speak to the new students. And I think it's crazy to think that apparently I already know enough that I can go in the opposite position. But whereas a year ago I was sitting there asking everything and I didn't know a thing, and now I've already gone from looking for guidance to giving guidance to those exact same students that were in my position. And I think that's pretty exciting. But other than that, I think we're done. Yeah.
So for those of you wondering, we filmed Dragon's Den in May. We took our 9-to-5 corporate health consulting company there, and it's going to air sometime this fall. If not, it'll be on the Dragon's Den website. So we'd really appreciate if you guys could tune in and support us through what we're doing in this community still with our 9-to-5 water bottle. And we're going to have an announcement on all of our social media pages before we find out when our episode airs. So I'm sure if you ask somebody at Parkland, they'd know, but it's our Twitter page is just our Facebook page is 9-to-5 water bottles, and if you're interested, it's going to be sometime this fall. We'll make the announcement, and then we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's pretty inspiring, don't you think? Those two are awesome. I'm glad he decided not to sleep in anymore. That's a good thing. They said it was tough to get buy-in from the students here at the school. They can, I'll give them this one. They don't have to give me any money on it, but you probably already thought about it. But it's the 1 a.m. to 1:05 a.m. beer bottle. And then the 1:05 a.m. to the 1:10. Anyway, yeah, you know how it works.